1, 2, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Truth Train here on your favorite platform.
Your favorite locomotive-based podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a podcast about trains. And
But the cargo of the train.
yes, it's truth.
That's right.
Yeah. We have it's what do you call these when you ship coal on train? Like what do you call those? Like those carts or like
I think they're just train carts.
train carts.
I think so.
With truth coal.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mind.
I mean, if I ever write an autobiography, it'll undoubtedly be Truth as Cargo, a memoir.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's begin with the important stuff.
Of course.
You gave me some white chocolate before we started recording.
From Lindt.
From Swiss chocolate. And I feel like every time somebody puts Swiss on it, it's like, oh, it's Swiss.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And people love saying it, Swiss. Right?
100%.
It's made in Switzerland, but it's Swiss.
Yeah.
And is there any other country that has that? Like, oh, it's a Chine.
No.
You know?
You can't say like, oh, this tea is South African.
Yeah, but it's Safaf.
Yeah.
Did you see what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I do.
That's an important branding tool that they've or trick,
Safaf.
right?
Yeah.
It's Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
It's Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
But you just say like if it's Swedish, it's not Swede.
It's not swish.
Swish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like
Norwegian. Norge.
Norge or the U.S. It's well, people do. It's
The States.
yeah, States.
Of the States. But that usually means it's pretty garbage. Unless it's a gun.
Yeah, which the only thing they actually can manufacture over there.
Oh, yeah.
We're over here. Who knows where we are? We're at a undisclosed location.
Remember the first time you told me to log into Patreon? And I thought it was not Halliburton, but Raytheon.
Raytheon. You were because I had a podcast and then a Patreon, and then you were into Raytheon to try to find my podcast. Where's your military grade secret podcasts?
I honestly could not find your podcast on Raytheon.com. And it was like long range missile systems link and stuff like that. I was like, I don't find
you ended up buying a missile, didn't you?
Still have it in the garage.
Yeah. But anyway, you gave me some chocolate, and I asked you, what's the difference between dark and white chocolate?
Right.
Because there is a difference. You can taste there's a difference.
But
obviously, the cocoa bean is white when they harvest it.
My understanding
is like
is
a slimy thing.
I'm with you, but I don't think there's any cocoa bean in white chocolate.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
But I'm going to read the answer.
Okay,
Here's the Google AI response here. Dark and white chocolate differs significantly in their composition and flavor profiles. Dark chocolate is made with a high percentage of cocoa solids, cocoa butter, and sugar, while white chocolate contains cocoa butter, sugar, and milk solids, but no cocoa solids.
Isn't that pretty much what I said?
I'm not sure what you said.
Me neither, but anyway, do you
what?
Do you agree that chocolate was the wildest? I mean, it was an unhinged chocolate.
I disagree.
I think that
it's good, but I rather have dark chocolate.
The only way for me to describe that chocolate you just had is that it's wanted for a crime, and everyone is on the lookout for it.
Yeah, it's on the run. This difference in ingredients results in darker chocolate having a richer, more intense flavor and a darker color, while white chocolate is sweeter, smoother, and has a creamy texture. And I'm not big on the creamy texture. I'm not big on the sweetener and smoother. I want the dark, intense, and you also love the intense, wild, unhinged, crazy. What did you tell me? You said this chocolate is out of control.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
And I asked you, why can't it just be chocolate?
Right.
It's a good chocolate. Mm-hmm. No, this chocolate is out of control. It's an escape prison. It's military grade chocolate.
This chocolate has been deemed insane by the CIA.
Exactly. They're looking for it. right?
Yeah. This chocolate comes with its own straitjacket.
Exactly. But having it, like, yes, it's good. It's good, but I'd rather have dark chocolate.
Well, that's
which obviously is more chocolate.
Yeah, but it's an insane thing to say. Like, I would urge anyone listening to this podcast to go out, buy a Lindt white chocolate and almond 300-gram chocolate bar.
Yeah.
Taste it, and then meditate on what you just said so they can really take in and integrate the extent to which you are detached from reality.
Okay, but wouldn't you say that like dark chocolate is the most sold chocolate, which means that people have spoken. People have spoken. They've said loud and clear, dark chocolate is the way to go.
Yeah, but like that's just because enough people aren't aware of white chocolate. White chocolate is forever hiding in the shadows.
Has this something to do with racism?
Maybe.
You know?
I don't think so.
No.
But to put it this way, if everyone likes chocolate, then of course it can't be racist. It would only be racist if everyone liked the white chocolate.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, you know, vanilla ice cream used to be black.
Really?
Yes.
Because vanilla is black.
That's right. So vanilla ice cream used to be black. But then because of all the racism, real racism, they made it white.
Really?
Yeah, because it had to be like a white supremacy cream.
Right.
So you're actually eating white supremacy cream every time you eat ice cream.
But is that so bad? I mean, can't white supremacy just enjoy some ice cream every now and then? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I'm against bad things, okay? But even having said that, sometimes you got to give the enemy, a treat. Some white chocolate, some white ice cream, whatever.
Yeah.
We can't be that evil. Like, well, you're not going to eat any good stuff for the rest of your life. That's like North Korean mentality.
Just because you're a Nazi doesn't mean you don't deserve ice cream.
Exactly.
And, Coca-Cola wasn't allowed to operate in Germany during the war. So they made Fanta.
Yeah.
And Fanta is Nazi Coca-Cola.
It is.
And everyone's enjoying that.
I love it.
Hey, you grab a volleyball, okay? You grab a 6-pack of Fanta. You grab your friends, go down to the beach.
Yeah.
You play some volleyball in the sun. Huh? Now come on.
And then you drink some Nazi orange juice.
That's all you're doing.
But here's the thing. So Coca-Cola were selling their products in Germany. And then the war happened, so they had to ban a lot of stuff, right? I know that Standard Oil did sell some patented oil lubricants to the Nazi regime, even after the embargo. Well, allegedly.
Right.
But how does that work? Okay, so they take Coca-Cola out. The Germans make their own soda, orange flavor, Fanta. It wasn't called Fanta, I would imagine.
I think it was.
You think so?
I mean, I'm not. Listen, I haven't brushed up on my Nazi history enough lately.
No, your Nazi beverage history.
That's it. That's right. That's the thing. My entire Nazi beverage book collection is still in storage, and I've been meaning to go in there and catch up.
The name Fanta originated during brainstorming sessions in Nazi Germany, where the head of Coca-Cola Germany, Max Keith, asked his team to use their imagination to create a new drink. The German word for imagination is fantasy. And there we go. The team came up with Fanta as a catchy name. A salesman named Joe Knipp is credited for suggesting the name Fanta during the session. Joe Knipp. Well, I mean, that sounds kind of American, right? Joe.
But no, I'm just telling you right now. If you want a creative brainstorm, you want Nazis in there.
Exactly. Yeah, at least one.
At least one.
I mean, if you're a big corporate, you have a board meeting, whatever, you want at least one Nazi guy sitting in a corner with his Hugo Boss 1940 General SS costume
and a skull cap. Yeah.
The name reflects the creative approach needed to develop a new beverage during wartime using limited resources.
Hey, a war beverage.
I mean, who doesn't want to have a war beverage?
You know,
I mean, if you're fighting a war,
Yeah.
and killing people all day long,
Uh-huh.
don't you want to have a refreshing drink at the end of it?
Yeah, but like a beverage dedicated to the cause.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't just have. Listen, I don't want a peacetime beverage
No.
in this foxhole.
No.
I'm stabbing this guy with my bayonet. I can't have a normal, everyday beverage after this. I need a seasonal beverage, and that season is wartime.
And of course, it was imported to Italy as well. And the version of Fanta Orange is made exclusively with 100% Italian oranges.
So it's a Mussolini-based.
So Mussolini also enjoyed a bright, citrusy, perfectly balanced, with light bubbles, refreshing drinking experience.
I mean, he's just human.
Hey, he's just a human. Don't you, like, I mean, again, if you're introducing fascism, don't you want a refreshing drink at the end of that day?
Listen, if you think you're going to introduce fascism without being hydrated, I got some news for you.
You need a sweet drink. Take the edge off.
That's right.
You know?
And not only that, but it's got to have some pop and some fizz.
Gotta have some pop and some fizz.
It's got to be an exciting beverage.
I agree with you.
You don't create fascist dictatorships with tea, coffee, and water.
So again, this is very true.
These are just facts.
And then of course the Italian version of Coke. Okay, we're deep down in a hole here, but the point is this. So when the Germans lost the war, somebody took over that drink. Like somebody then, they basically stole it from the Nazis, the drink, right? But how is that transaction? How does like Coca-Cola, like we're the good guys, and then like, okay, that's a good drink. Let's put it into our,
Our repertoire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't change the name. They just continue with the name.
Hugo Boss also didn't change the name.
That's balls. That is balls.
Yeah.
And we have to kind of appreciate it to some degree.
Listen, there should be a parade celebrating this concept. The idea that the Nazi SS uniform manufacturer just goes out there and go, well, I'm a fashion icon now. I'm just a fashion icon. So, yes, we used to lock people in churches and burn them alive. Yes, we deported people to the East. Yes, we bombed and destroyed entire nations. But now, this is what you need to walk down the boulevard in Paris.
So I found an article that the Hugo Boss is now designing the new army, army equipment, jackets, pants, everything.
Army attire.
Yeah, army attire. Hugo Boss is designing that now for the German army.
What an unbelievable designer.
I read that
The
somewhere.
versatility here.
Hugo Boss designing German army clothes today. And yeah, Hugo Boss's current design focus does not include creating army uniforms. No, that's not true. I read an article about that recently.
What?
The Hugo Boss is now designing
The German.
the now German
Yeah.
armies. I'm 100. It was an article. I read it somewhere, and I think that's a good thing. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Why is that controversial? I mean, did they kill anyone?
Hey, the fabric itself didn't kill anyone.
No.
If anything, people got laid.
They did get laid.
Yeah.
And then they died.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
I mean, listen.
Okay.
Who do you want to be killed by?
Yeah.
Like a guy with ratty clothes?
Who smells?
Smells? Or a guy who has like a nice fitted jacket?
Yeah, and like a knitted vest.
Exactly.
With Hugo Boss cologne on his palms.
Yeah. They probably gave him a cologne as well.
You know, I don't enjoy this being murdered thing, but god damn it, this guy looks great.
But again, who would you like? But some people would say, I don't care who I'm murdered by.
Ah,
I don't believe that.
that's true.
I'd rather be killed by a guy in a suit than some guy in like a puffy jacket.
Well, I mean, let's just take it to an extreme here, right? Like a psychiatry person going nuts on a bus.
Yeah.
With a knife, screaming.
Yeah, a guy who hasn't showered for a while,
Yeah.
and like missing a shoe, and you can see his toes through his socks.
That's right, and he smells.
He smells. I'd rather be killed by a business guy than a homeless person.
Like American Psycho, Wall Street guy.
Yeah, I'd rather.
Me too, but I would be very resentful about, like, listen, if me or anyone I know was murdered by like a psychiatry person,
right,
I'd be very resentful about that. But if it was a suit person, I'd be more like intrigued. I'd have more respect for the general concept.
But you would ask, like, why did it happen, right? Like,
hence intrigued.
Because you understand that a guy who's with a tinfoil hat or, screaming on a bus, being wild, and then killing you, like, that's like, you don't like, why did he do it? Like, oh, well, he's insane.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what they do now.
Yeah.
Like, they love that.
You lost the insanity lottery with that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if a business guy, like a guy with a suitcase
and
a Rolex strangles you.
Which smells great.
Smells great, by the way.
Smells like income.
It smells like victory. Like a healthy life. Yoga.
Yeah. Private gym.
Oil. Like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Clean.
Contract ink.
Money. Has money.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But the point is that you wouldn't. Why did he do it? Why did he, like, you wouldn't, no, he's crazy. No, but he's a successful person. Why did he? You would ask more questions and it would be more unbelievable.
So, I think there's, for the people who know me, if I was murdered on a bus by a psychopath in a puffy jacket missing a shoe, screaming things, then people would be just like, oh man, maybe he was secretly a drug addict, and he was hanging with the homeless again, trying to score a bag of heroin.
Right.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I thought more of him. Until he was murdered by that homeless psychiatric patient who had escaped.
Yeah.
But if I got murdered by Gordon Gekko,
yeah,
you smell like just fucking, billions of dollars. Like you smell like that scene in Scarface where they're counting all the money.
Yeah.
And it's just great suits, and you have like, like a 3-piece suit and that double knot on the tie and everything, you know what I mean? And a Breitling and all this stuff, right? Like a $1.2 million Breitling and a helicopter key in the pocket and everything when they're arrested.
Yeah.
People go like, oh my God, he must have had a double life where he was either a secret like FBI agent or maybe, MI7, like MI6 or something like that, or he was secretly doing huge deals for the Bolivian government or something. Now there's intrigue. People think more of me. So I benefit from a high quality murder, but nobody benefits from a homeless person murder. That's why I think it should be illegal for homeless people to murder people.
It should be illegal.
I know, right?
I do. I think I agree with you on that one.
Do you really?
It should be illegal.
I think this is where we have the great ideas. Like, we should be a think tank for the government.
Why aren't people asking us how they should run the society?
Right. Why aren't we being like headhunted for a think tank?
Exactly.
Like, this says something about how incompetent politicians are. The fact that we're not being headhunted.
That is true.
Based on these ideas.
Well, can we just a disclaimer here? We're not saying that people who are mentally
ill
or missing shoes or walk screaming on the bus that they're murderers. We're not saying that.
No.
We're not saying it. This is just a hypothetical.
Yeah.
That if the scenario would be between a smelly person and a person who smells good and looks great, that is more preferably
to be murdered by. And also,
that's all. That's all. We're not saying that homeless people are criminals or murderers. That's not what we're saying.
No, but it's just that if you're on public transportation, screaming, missing a shoe, holding a knife, odds are maybe you're not in the best place.
You're not on Wall Street swapping stocks.
Not currently, anyway.
Not currently. Maybe it's your holiday or something.
Yeah.
But
you took some time off.
It took some time off from Wall Street
to pursue your passion.
Yeah, to be a homeless person for 2 weeks every summer.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but so we're not saying that.
No.
If you think about it, actually, people in suits have killed much more people. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, not maybe pushing pulling the trigger,
Yeah.
but more like forcing the government to take action between towards a country and then killing that nation through lobbying and business transactions, and like, hey, listen, we need the bananas in Honduras. We need to topple that government, or we need to get Pinochet into Chile to like do our bidding. We have to stop communism in Bolivia. We have to stop, like the banana wars and all that stuff.
Hey, you can't, and don't get me started on the banana wars.
In Vietnam, like, do you think it was a homeless guy who was pressing for the Vietnam War? Do you really think so?
No, I think
the homeless guy. Hey, we should attack the North Vietnamese people.
Sitting on the street with a sign, cardboard box.
Attack them! Stop communism in its tracks.
It was like, damn, those homeless people again.
No, not the homeless people. That was people in suits doing that.
Yeah,
who lied about it as well, and nobody knows about that. Well, a lot of people do, but the Gulf of Tonkin, isn't that they call it? The
Tonkin,
the incident, Tonkin Bay incident, where they lied about, like, we were attacked by the North Vietnamese. But that was oh, you're a conspiracy theorist? It's proven. They lied us into that war.
McNamara said it in court.
Exactly.
But in all seriousness, I think the East India Trading Company, that's the best example. People in suits. Go get the tea. And I don't really care what happens. Just bring back the tea.
Yeah, but do you like tea so much that you want to kill people? I mean, have you tasted that tea?
It's amazing tea.
It's a great tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really it packs a punch too.
Yeah, and sugar plantations.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's not the homeless people who were running the East Indian Company.
Really?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, most people think so.
The Opium Wars. It was not lobbied by the homeless.
No?
No. I'm sorry to inform you.
This is news to me.
It was people in suits who lived in castles.
Right.
Right? Mm. Who had butlers and shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, just for the record, obviously, this podcast, unlike all the other podcasts, we're against people getting murdered. Right?
I mean, yeah, that's why we started it.
Right. Because we want to differentiate ourselves
100%
from all the other podcasts who are so pro-murder.
That is true.
But if I'm going to get murdered, I'm just saying I want a successful person to do it.
Yeah.
Like, if I have no choice, if it's going to happen anyway.
And why exactly? I mean, if you're getting shot in the back, like the what is it, Luigi Mangiani or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
If that guy, I mean, he wasn't poor, he wasn't rich either. He was a student.
Yeah, but he wasn't Wall Street. Listen, here's the deal.
Yeah. But if you're getting shot in the back, what does it matter?
Well, I'm just saying, if a psychiatric person, okay, who's living in an institution, they're in a straitjacket, they're in a padded cell, they're out on parole, they get picked up by the police, they're back in, they're homeless for a while, they're a hobo on a train. For that person to go to jail, it's not a far stretch. It's not a massive, oh no, what happened to my life kind of situation. They can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
If anything, it's an upgrade from the padded cell and the straitjacket.
I would say so.
I mean, you get some extra Seroquel, and now you can, direct all your anger at your cellmate.
Right.
So if anything, it's an upgrade for a psychiatric person. Hence, it's worth less. But if a Wall Street person like Gordon Gekko, right? I mean, remember, he says in that movie, I remember that was my first real estate deal. I made $800,000 on that deal. Now it's a day's pay.
Yeah.
A guy makes $800,000 a day, and this is in the 1980s. I mean, just for inflation, we're looking at $5 million a day. This guy makes $5 million a day, and then he's going to give up his whole life, his mansions, his money, his women, his mistress, his wife, his children, his helicopters, his yachts, his plans for world dominations, and his manifesto, just to kill you. I mean, if anything, it's a huge compliment.
It's actually a compliment.
It is.
You chose me?
I know you chose
me. To lose everything?
Right. I know, right?
Wow.
How important am I?
I think actually it would be an honor.
That's right.
To be unalived by that person.
That's correct.
I think so.
And you you might not know this about me, and anyone who's watching this is probably a huge news flash, but I actually get quite annoyed with people.
You do?
It's insane. I know. Me.
Wow.
I mean, you'd never think it.
I
mean, I told this to a couple of friends of mine the other day, and they were like, what is this side of you? We've never heard this before.
Exactly.
Right. And so I have a tendency to get so angry at certain people, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And then you've told me many times, get bigger enemies, right? And the bigger your enemies, the more important you are. True. So in a way, there is no higher status in the world than to be murdered by a super rich person.
Yeah, I think we've beaten this topic to the ground now.
You'd think so, but I disagree.
No, yeah, exactly. But I think we covered a lot of good ground here.
Listen, people come here for their sanity.
I think we have inspired people now.
I mean,
to be killed and to kill.
Listen, while we're on the subject of murder, I have to share this one thing with you real quick. Like, I was on Instagram recently, and I saw this post, and it was about an elderly couple, and they both had some sort of health issue, and they were both going to go into a suicide pod and be unalived in a pod. Okay. And then it showed video footage, and it was like a news article. Right. And it showed video footage, and there was a bunch of engineers, right, who were walking around inspecting the pods, right? Yeah. Like tinkering with things and like opening panels and screwing things and adjusting things. Much like you would see engineers sort of like inspecting a rocket ship before it goes into space.
Can I just pause you for a second? I just Googled suicide pods, and then Google gives me, help is possible. And there's like call this number. Do you need somebody to talk to? And here is Sarko suicide pod. Will Switzerland introduce stricter rules? And it's like a pod. Yeah, it looks like a spaceship.
Yeah, it does.
And
it looks like that thing. You remember the first Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Where like Luke Skywalker's planet?
Sure.
And he's sitting in that thing and driving really close to the ground?
Yeah.
It looks like one of those.
Well, I would. It looks more like these cryo chambers that they lie in to, like, okay, we're gonna travel for 1,000,000 years. Put you in cryo,
right?
Sleep.
And isn't that suspicious that they make it look like a thing that preserves you forever? You know?
Yeah, but it kind of does if you think about it, because like that is even though it unalives you, it kind of like it ends you in that way you were like you didn't get old.
Hey, you're in charge.
You're in charge.
That should be their slogan. You know?
The first death to come about using the Sarko capsule is reignited debate on whether assisted dying should be more tightly regulated in Switzerland. I disagree. It shouldn't be regulated. I mean, it should be open 24 hours a day.
Look what happened to the war on drugs. The more we regulated it, the more drug use.
But if there's a suicide pod, does that mean that it's an office, it has a front desk, people are picking up the phone? Hi, suicide pod. Shouldn't it be just like on the town, you can always like go and buy at a 7-Eleven something? Shouldn't it be like 24 hours, like just open, and if you're getting drunk and like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then get in the pod?
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be a way?
I mean, it's once again the government regulating away the greatness.
There's a slogan on the thing. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. Carl Sagan is written on the side of the suicide pod.
Right. So I mean, obviously,
we're made of star stuff. We are a way of the universe to know itself. Huh? They put Carl Sagan like the last quote. Like I don't think he would approve this.
Yeah, but I mean, the crazy thing about that clip I saw, where these people were walking around this pod and really inspecting it, right? Yeah. Like really dedicated to these people's deaths. You know, kind of what I mean?
Right.
It's one thing if you're like a space engineer and you're so dedicated to this rocket and making it to whatever planet. But these people were so dedicated to this machine. And that's an interesting thing because it begs the question, like, what would that job application thing look like? Are you as passionate about unaliving people as we are? You know what I mean?
I mean, imagine making this.
That's right. Like, you're so dedicated and you're like an engineer. You go in every day like, I'm not going to stop until we find a way where people can, destroy their, lives and families.
Why liberal Switzerland is opposed to the Sarko suicide capsule. I mean, why can't people just do what they want? What's with this? Yeah, but everybody should live. Well, life is like, what did Doug Stanhope say many years ago in that joke of his? He said, life is like animal porn. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, but you said it even better when you shortened it. You said, life isn't... I remember I was having such a bad day, and I was like, it's all over for me. Save yourself. And you looked at me and said, you know what? Life isn't for everyone.
Yeah, well, that's true, too.
Yeah, it's true.
But here's the thing. I think like a pod... I think every house should have its own pod.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be inspiring. Every family should have their own pod.
Mm-hmm. I
mean,
mean,
washing machine, you buy the dryer, you have the TV, you have
carport.
Carport, you have stereo. Why not a pod?
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the basement, you have like that running machine thing. Treadmill. You have.
I think you'd have to travel far and wide to find someone who doesn't agree with you.
I think so.
But just for fun, just explain why it's so inspiring.
Well, I mean, because it reminds you that life is fragile. You know, because like, hey, you're having a tough day, but is it tough?
I think domestic fights would end quicker. I'll go in that pod right now.
That's what I'm trying to get to. If you don't think I'll get in that pod, think again, mister. It's stuff like that.
I mean, if families could threaten each other with the pod,
yeah,
now we'd have peace.
If there's a pod always reminding you,
yeah,
that listen, we can either get divorced,
yeah,
or I can get in that pod.
That's right.
What do you want? Right, and it's like so it's a reminder. I think that would inspire families to maybe stick together,
and maybe eat more dinner together too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. And I think there should be also an option that, you know, people should be able to play with it. You know?
What do you mean?
Yeah, you know, you can put it into like a play mode. You can do other stuff. I think it's too bad. It takes a lot of space. Obviously, it's a big thing.
Right.
It should be also serve different purposes.
So like a Formula One racing video game simulator.
Yeah, you can put some PlayStation in there. You can have like a tanning bed.
Hey, how about this? How about just some alone time from your spouse or significant other?
Yeah.
Right. Make it soundproof.
Listen, are you gonna have a party tonight? Yeah, I'll get into the pod and.
It's like no, don't end it all. No, it's on soundproof play mode.
I'll just watch a movie and, you know, do the noise canceling.
Yeah,
but don't press the red button now. Sure, you know, worry. I think here's the problem with this pod.
I mean,
they think it's only one. It's an item for one use only.
That's it.
That's the problem.
That's it. Hey, it should also float and be a boat.
I think so too. It should be a motor on it.
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm on the sea. Like what? I'm out at sea. You don't have a boat. I have the suicide pod.
But like
it also operates as a boat.
Bring it to the lake in the summer.
Exactly.
Right? And here's another great thing.
Submarine.
Imagine being submarine.
Could be a submarine.
Submarine's fantastic. That's way better than a boat.
Sure.
But I also but obviously that'd be an upgraded version. You have to pay extra.
I mean, sure.
But I'm just saying like this. If you're out at sea and your boat starts to sink, all right, that life jacket is there's not a lot of hope in there. It'd be nice to have a suicide button in a boat.
Yeah.
I mean, just
if you have a boat and there's a leakage, there's some water coming in, and it's like, okay, I'm not sure I'm gonna make it to shore.
Yeah.
Isn't it just better to get in the pod?
That's right.
And then end it?
Yeah. It's nice to have an option.
I think so too.
Hey, you know, I used to work as a volunteer for a while, and I had this boss who had a tendency to talk a lot. And I think a lot of people listening to this will think they know what I mean because they'll use reference points from their own life. But this was the equivalent of imagine a person who was confronted by the CIA on their way to work. And the CIA said, "We have your family, and we're going to kill them unless you walk into that office and you make sure no one else can get a word in the whole day. And you keep doing that for the rest of your life." So this person is talking so much because they're literally trying to save their family from an imminent death in a Tehran torture dungeon kind of thing.
Tehran?
So, yeah.
Wasn't it the CIA?
I mean, listen, they operate multinationally. It's very complex.
Okay, sure.
So anyway,
I mean, lizards. They do what they do.
Yeah, no, that it's all controlled by the elite. Like people wouldn't. It's very complex.
Okay.
Anyway, so what happened was we had this Christmas brunch, and there was like 7 of us, and we were sitting there. We were just having such a nice conversation. Like everyone was saying a little something. Like, "Hey, the weather's so nice." It's like, "Oh, I agree. What are you doing for Christmas?" "Oh, I'm going there." Everyone was, it was a nice symbiosis of conversation. Then she comes in, and it was just like, I mean, it was the most insane thing. No one got a word in for the next 3 hours. And I used to joke that if I had walked around with a handgun on a silver platter and offered it to people, they would have said, like, would you like this gun to take your own life? You know what? I don't want to take it right now, but leave the gun just in case. Like, I'd like to know that I have it, right? And I think that relates to a lot of situations where people, I'd like to have the option.
Exactly.
It's nice to have the option.
And we should just mention, just be perfectly sure here, like it would be because of the algorithm and all the YouTubes and all that stuff. We are talking about this to like save lives.
That's right.
We're here not like we're not what do you call it, supporting the pods. We're saying that the pods lack imagination.
That's it.
We're saying, well, it's a plastic capsule, which
It's a business and marketing critique.
Yes. We're saying that, hey, put a motor on it.
Yeah.
Let's use this like think bigger.
Yeah.
Hey, it has a door and it has like a whatever. I don't know how they are euthanized here, but we're just saying that this could be much more for people than rather than like being a room in Switzerland you go to. And this has to pay. Like, how much does it cost?
Listen, baking soda never really took off until people started putting it in the fridge to get rid of the smell. I'm just saying.
Baking soda in the fridge?
That's right. You put baking soda in the fridge, it absorbs all the smell. Smells great in there.
Really?
That's right.
Wow.
And then people started finding out, hey, I can use this to clean stuff. And then at one point, baking soda was labeled an anabolic steroid because people would take it before doing the Olympics and be like Ben Johnsoning.
Do you know how much it costs to go into the pod in Switzerland?
To buy it or to do one session?
Do one. Well, you can't do multiple. It's hard to do multiple sessions. The pod is not working.
We got to pay for another session then.
You're not feeling a little bit dead? Well, a little bit, but I'm not really, am I? Hey, how many sessions? Can I have a season ticket to the pod?
The season pass is our bestseller.
And you know what? It is funny. It's kind of like a hotel in a way. Like it's like you go in there and like you lie in the pod, and it's like, you know, you have resorts, right? You have like hotel resorts, but this is called the last resort, which is interesting. It's your last resort.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
How much does it cost?
Okay, I would say $2,000 US.
Final answer?
Yeah.
$20.
No.
$20.
No.
I'm on the website right now.
$20?
Yeah, Swiss info.
Is it half off or something?
.ch.
But hold on. Is it subsidized by the government? Or are they just really eager to get customers?
Do you hear anything?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, this is like a cap. They're filming the capsule. Are there anyone talking?
No.
No. Oh, nitrogen. Releases nitrogen from inside, rapidly lowering the oxygen level. According to Philip Nitschke. Within minutes, hypoxia. There's no suffering or pain.
But like, where do you find...
The organization, The Last Resort, wants to operate the Sarko, Switzerland, where assisted suicide is legal.
Yeah, but hold on. Listen.
Doctor-free suicide.
How do you get people... Wait, there's talking.
Some people don't want a doctor, a man in a white suit, standing next to them when they die. They think that this is their fundamental right to have a peaceful death when they choose, and they don't need a doctor there. The only role for the doctor is mental capacity testing. Many doctors don't like being involved in assisted suicide.
Many doctors don't like being involved in this.
That's crazy.
Which is another...
Hey, turn it down for a second.
We've watched people struggle with their last savings to come up with the 10 to 15,000 francs they need to
just give me a second here.
death. Now, if they can have a death with Sarko for 18 francs,
$20.
it's much more egalitarian.
$20.
You shouldn't have to be rich.
But you know, she said something there. She said people feel that it's their fundamental right to die when they choose. I think we're kind of playing it fast and loose with the word rights.
That's true.
Imagine a caveman being like, well, it's my fundamental right to have a cheeseburger and choose when I die. Give me stuff. I mean, how do How do you remember when that scientist guy created that atomic bomb and he said, "Now I have become death, the destroyer of worlds"?
Yeah.
Was that Oppenheimer?
Sure.
Do you think there was an Oppenheimer who made this and said kind of the same thing? Now I am become,
I made a capsule.
Now I am become Capsule, the destroyer of lives.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. I think everybody can make a capsule and put some nitrogen in it. I mean, how difficult is that? I can make one today.
Yeah, these inventions are a dime a dozen.
I mean, get me a sleeping bag,
Right,
and then tie a knot on it and put a tube in there and put some nitrogen on. Let's rock and roll.
That's right.
That's no problem. But I'm just saying here, the problem here is that this is a doctor-free method. That's a way to cut out the doctors don't like that.
No,
they want to be involved.
I thought they didn't want to be involved.
Well, they don't want to be involved with the pod. They want to have the money because usually it costs up to $17,000 to do it at a hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
So the pod is sort of like a revolution.
Yeah. This is like it's like McDonald's. It's fast it's fast food. Fast food of assisted euthanizing.
Right.
Exactly.
Fast. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. I think it's stupid to even go in the pod. Make your own.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And also, if you're on, if you think about that all the time, and if you make your own pod, that gives you like a feeling of like self-worth. Like, oh, I made something.
Well, I mean,
I did something.
I totally agree, but I would also
build confidence.
I would also argue that if you made this pod also into a boat and urged the person who wants to die to try going on the ocean first.
Yeah, maybe the ocean would fix you.
Right? But I mean, now you're a person on the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, find me someone who's got problems on the ocean.
I haven't met one.
I've never heard of that. And like when you're on the sea, all your problems are solved. So what you should do is make a boat and disguise it as a euthanasia capsule.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be smarter because then all these people wouldn't want to die. If you're maritime, you want to be alive.
That's true.
Yeah, and not only that, but like I was down in Saint-Tropez once. If you walk into some of these maritime stores where they sell like the cool piqué, and scarves and like the gala regatta wear and stuff like that, and the cool loafers and everything, you'll trust me. The last thing you'll want to do is to leave this earth if you can walk around with that scarf and that cool polo shirt.
Exactly.
And especially like, don't worry, I got my pod-shaped boat over there.
We're not minimizing the mental issues a person have. Around thinking about this and actually thinking about that as an option of I can't continue. I mean, there is help. You should call somebody. You should call somebody you don't know. You should call a helpline. You should think if there's anything else you could do. Don't conclude, right? Mm-hmm. Because this podcast is talking about how to help people.
That's right.
Yes, we're helping.
We're inspiring people.
And we're saying that if you're thinking about the pod, think about it in different ways.
Yeah, from a marketing point of view.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So we're saying that get in the pod but make other use of it. See if you can use it for something else, and then you'll see. And again, as you always said this. Get some fresh air. Get out on the ocean. You'll change your life in minutes.
That's right. That's sea air.
You're stuck in New York. You're stuck in Mexico City. You're stuck in Hong Kong. You have no friends. Life is boring. You've seen everything. You think it's it. But have you broken the circle? Have you broken the chain? Get out there. Do something else. Sell everything.
At any given time, whatever you're struggling with, ask yourself the following question. What is my current relationship to the sea?
Exactly. Should I drink the ocean? Should I taste it at least?
But what am I...
Is the rumors true? Do I get mad? I should check that for myself.
That's right.
Salt water. Does it taste bad? I think it does, but everybody's different.
Yeah.
A lot of women like salty stuff. Did you know that?
That's true.
They like when you eat candy. Like I like sour stuff, you know, kind of like a fruity sour stuff. Oh, I like licorice, salty. Like ugh. Maybe it's like a genetic thing.
Maybe.
Yeah. But anyway.
But yeah, and another thing as well is, you know, I remember when I had a lot of problems.
You had problems?
Hey, listen.
Again, news.
I mean, this is such a newsflash episode.
You had problems.
I mean, you would never believe it.
I would never believe it.
Most people who end up at a rehab facility in Thailand against their will don't have any problems.
That's true.
But I did. Strangely enough. I was the only one there.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
I think it is.
It's very interesting. But anyway, what I found was, you know, I could have all kinds of crazy problems, right? But if suddenly something occurred around me that I had to deal with of some kind, like somebody needed help or like, you know, call an ambulance, do this, whatever, then suddenly I would forget myself. And I think that's the essence of the ocean. The ocean makes you forget yourself.
I think that's true. And I think a lot of people have gotten into MMA and fighting. And that actually, this is a quote from Mark Zuckerberg. It was the first time he hasn't thought about anything else than actually that moment that he is in.
Wow.
Like he has a brain that is constantly like, okay, what about this? What about that? Like it's always like, there's a lot of stuff happening, always concerns to attend to.
Yep.
And that builds a lot of stress.
Yep.
But when he was like fighting for his life on the floor, that was the only thing he could think about. And that he said is good, like a good mental break. Even though he's fighting for his life, he that was therapeutic for him. And I think the ocean is the same. Because you're on the ocean, fix the sail, you know, trim the sails, roam the sea, a pirate I was meant to be, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You like, okay, I have to fix this. You have to run around. There's no time to think about like, how did my dad hug me? Did he hug me? Like, did he ever love me? Like, no. Fix the sail because we're losing daylight.
Buoys, anchors.
Turtles,
sharks.
Food, rations.
Right. Wind, sky.
Rum.
Sun. All the stuff.
All the stuff you need. Yeah, clean the deck.
To forget yourself.
And then you can lie in bed, but then you're so exhausted. Like, you know, this life of mine, like this self-absorbed bullshit, I'll postpone the worries tomorrow.
Right.
Because I have to get up early to feed the monkeys.
Of course. You know, I actually tomorrow I celebrate 6 years sober. And the one thing I really missed about alcohol, just to say that, is I was in Alaska and we went to a glacier. And then there was
Did you fire guns at it? Didn't you shoot it at the glacier?
I actually shot cans of gasoline later on that day.
Right.
But the glacier we left alone.
Okay.
Mercy. Anyway, so there was this massive glacier, and then we took a helicopter on top of it, and then I found this little pool, and it was negative 0.7 degrees, which is like the coldest water can get. And I swam in it, but there was nowhere to get warm. So I was just sitting, soaking wet, freezing in a helicopter. Anyway, we got back to this, trailer park or whatever we were staying. We lived in like an RV for a week. And I got back there and I drank Jägermeisters, like 4 or 5 of them. And then I felt that heat come in through the stomach.
Really?
And I was like, wow, what a great way to live. But I was thinking about it today, like right now I have a choice to have a drink, but after that first drink, I no longer have a choice. You know what I mean? I am now.
You are the drink.
I am the drink. You know what I mean? Like
the drink is you.
Yeah, we're like anyone who wants to stop my next drink is now my enemy, you know?
True.
And like we've already taught people here, you want high quality enemies. So you don't get high quality enemies when you're drinking again and all your friends and family are your enemies.
Exactly.
You might as well have homeless people after you.
Yeah, so what you're saying is, what are you saying exactly here?
I'm just reminiscing a bit about alcohol. So I mean, if you can still drink it, enjoy it. Go swim in a glacier.
But about the enemies. Like, okay, if you don't drink, if you drink, you get enemies. But if you don't drink, you get better enemies.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, listen.
Because like, okay, if you are an alcoholic, you're arguing with other alcoholics.
Yeah.
But now that you're sober, you can just argue with your own family.
Well, I mean, listen.
Your family's your enemy now.
I can, as long as I'm sober, I can find bigger, better enemies.
Right.
But if I'm not sober, then whoever's around me is my enemy.
Exactly.
And that's not ideal. Now you don't have control over who your enemies are.
Yeah, because it's everyone.
Hey.
Charlie's everywhere.
The definition of success. The definition of success is like measured in enemies.
I think so too.
And I think that coffee mug will be coming for sale this Christmas.
Again, the bigger the enemy,
Yeah.
the more important you are.
That's it. And a lot of people try to find status through like money and suits and colognes and
Fuck that.
look at this beautiful woman.
Enemies.
Enemies.
Who's your enemy? Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk.
Yeah, that's
Who's
right.
my enemy? Wow,
Yeah.
you must have really done something interesting.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Look, but not enemies like you're just like trolling. Like they hate you now because you're not selling them the fuel for their rockets.
That's it.
Like that kind of enemy.
Yeah. Or you cut off their garment shipments in Pakistan.
Yes.
That kind of stuff.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the guy. Do you remember the divers in that cave in Thailand many years ago?
Yes.
So what happened was I don't know how it escalated into that, but Elon Musk started calling that guy a pedophile and everything on Twitter. Don't you remember?
No.
And he was like, I'm gonna sue him and blood defamation and all that stuff. I
Right.
don't know what happened. They settled or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy was a diving instructor or a football coach or whatever it was. And then now Elon Musk is tweeting about a nobody. Do you know how much status you get that the richest guy in the world is tweeting out your name? Okay, unfortunately calling you a child molester person, but you have a great enemy.
Yeah.
You imagine how many books you can sell just based on that.
Why is it? I mean, obviously, we agree about the fundamentals here, but why is it that it's more status to have Elon as an enemy than a friend? Why is that?
Because, well, that's easy. Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
The enemy
Of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
Right? So even though I don't know you, but you hate the same guy as I hate, we're friends now, even though I don't know what you stand for or whatever.
Right.
So it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
So right now, that guy would get a lot of friends, right? He should capitalize on that now. He should go to the US. Elon Musk is like the Doge thing and all the cuts and the things. And he should like, hey, I remember he called me a pedophile. By the way, I have this book.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, yeah, we should support him because he hates Elon. And we all do that now.
But
right?
why is it that these idiots try to get famous as opposed to trying to get enemies? People have misunderstood everything.
I think so too. You should, instead of getting famous, you should just get great enemies.
That's it.
That's a fast track to becoming famous.
And these are the kind of tips you only get in this podcast.
Again, people are lying.
People are what?
Lying.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's why
they're not telling you the truth.
Right. But and hey, where do you get the truth cargo you seek?
Well, only on these tracks provided by the Truth Train.
This locomotive.
Yes, this locomotive picking up speed.
That's right. Forever.
And we're, by the way, the speed is not free. Okay, the train is not. I mean, somebody has to pay for this train.
Yes. Somebody has to oil the tracks.
All the tracks, you know, and sometimes to get like more fire going in the oven, what do we throw in there? Lloyd and Mellow hot sauce.
Lloyd and Melon. Lloyd and Mellow.
Lloyd and Melon hot sauce.
That's right.
Is the secret fuel to our fiery engine.
That's right.
Okay? Yes, we shovel truth coal. But what is the secret ingredients? What's our nitro button? We don't have a button. We only have the hot sauce.
Put a bit of that in the engine.
Put that in your engine, and that keeps us all fat and giggly.
That's right. Lloyd and Melon, very political hot sauce, which we've mentioned before, but also like unhinged flavor, out of control. I would say the flavor profile needs its own strange.
You're a great salesman. You're a great advertiser.
I'm the best salesman. The flavor profile needs its own straitjacket.
All right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, listen. I mean, I think people should remember to take their medication and don't underestimate the hot sauce profile.
if you take some heavy if you have medication, if you have like a big box of pills, like it says Monday, Tuesday, and it's like a lot of like compartments.
Yeah,
put some hot sauce on it.
That's it. That's it.
They don't want to tell you that secret.
No, they don't. And
drink it down with some hot sauce.
I can tell you the only thing I know for a fact is that they're all lying to you.
That's true.
Except us.
We're not lying.
The only podcast which does not condone of murder.
Big Pharma is trying to stop that hot sauce.
Hey, they're not trying to do. They're not working on anything else.
Yeah. They stopped the COVID vaccine research and trying to fight Lloyd and Mellon in the courts.
That's all they're doing.
Because they want them to stop, because like the pills are working better with the hot sauce.
The healing properties.
But that is like, but it hurts sales.
People can't handle this information.
That's so true.
You know, and here's the thing. When we lay down the hard facts like this, I know we're going to lose listeners, but I don't care. Because if you can't handle the truth, then you can't handle this.
What did you say? The flavor profile needs his own straitjacket? So true.
So true.
People, talk to you next week. Bye.